Yasna 31. This Gatha is closely connected with the preceding one, as Newberg has noted in Religionen, pages 206. We may describe it as the second Gatha of the choice. It adds supplementary words which are meant for the faithful. The wicked shall not hear them, stanza 1, and which were judged necessary, because the choice to be made did not yet appear clearly enough. Zarathustra offers himself as a judge, according to the will of the Lord, to enlighten men in their decision. For this he asked the Lord for an explicit and direct revelation, which the tongue of thy mouth concerning the rewards and the decrees of righteousness. 3. May they all choose rightly with the help of the prophet, and may they overcome evil. This aim will be achieved by a cascade of causes. At the summit the lords of destiny added to them. Then separately the good mind, which in turn gives to the prophet and his partisans the dominion, by the increase of which they shall vanquish evil. 4. And to the end this long exordium, which is propitiated to a hymn of unusual dimensions, Zoroaster in a stanza which is not very clear asks the triad for the gift of vision. 5. 1. Remembering your commands, we proclaim words, unheard by those who, by the precepts of evil, deprave the creatures of righteousness, but the beneficial to those who are faithful to the wise one. 2. Because the better way to choose of the two is not therefore in sight. To you all I come as the judge of the two sides, such as the wise Lord knoweth me, that we may live according to righteousness. 3. The reward which thou shalt give the spirit and the fire, and which thou shalt divide as righteousness among two parties, the decree which is for the wise, do thou tell us that we may know, with the tongue of thy mouth, O wise one, that I may put the living men to the choice. 4. If righteousness is to be invoked, and the wise one and the other lords, and destiny and devotion, I would seek from the best mind the mighty dominion by whose increase we might overcome evil. 5. Make known to me that you have as righteousness appointed to me as the best. He begins at the once to prophecy. He promises the best part to the initiate, and a stanza which names the 6 entities but lays particular stress on the team. Dominion, good mind, the latter increasing the former, on the level of human action, as in stanza 4. The point of the pronouncement is that it is in the power of man to increase the dominion of the wise one. The Lord depends, as it were, on man. He expects something from him, which does not exclude man's need of the help of his providence, which is the good mind. The 7 following stanzas, 7 to 13, to tell the progress of the world from the first moment of Genesis. Stanza 7 has a simple beauty which puts it on a level with the Bible and with Basset. God creates the light, and he creates it by the Spirit, and he is not mentioned until the end of the stanza, the first verses of which indicate him only by his august act. He who first by mind, etc. This great first verse opens the scene where the procession of entities is to pass. But from the very beginning it asserts the spiritual character of the action of God. By the mind does he make space, light, and beatitude coincide. By the mind also, by the mind's force, does he create righteousness and the other entities. He is spirit. We see the deduction of the degrees of hierarchy, which might be represented as follows. At the summit, the wise Lord, identical with his spirit. By this spirit he creates righteousness. By righteousness he upholds the best mind, but he increases the latter directly by his spirit. Manyamana. In the following stanza 8, the fundamental identity which connects the Lord with man becomes apparent as the Lord acts through the mind. As it through the mind that his prophet recognized him. The whole stanza evokes a direct elation. That I okay, let's go back. 5. Make known to me that you have as righteousness appointed to me as the best, that I may join myself unto it, from whence comes my inspiration, which makes me learn from the good mind, for my remember what shall not be, O wise Lord, or what shall be. 6. His shall be the best part, who as an initiate proclaims my true precept of integrity, of righteousness and immortality. For the wise one is all that dominion, which may be increased for him by the good. 7. He who first through the mind filled with blessed spaces with he, it is he who by his will created righteousness light, whereby he upholds the best mind. This thou hast increased, O wise one, by thy spirit, which is even now one of thee, O Lord. 8. Through mind, O wise one, have I known thee as the first and the last, as the Father of the good mind, when I perceive thee with mine eyes as the true creator of righteousness, as the Lord in the deeds of existence. 9. Thine was devotion, thine the creator of the ox, thine the force of the spirit, O wise Lord, when thou didst give a free path to the ox towards the herdsman, or one who is not a herdsman. A living contact through the eyes and through the mind. The subject of this revelation is, as it were, the mystery of Trinity. The wise one, the creator of righteousness, is the Father of the good mind. This completes what was said in the first stanza on the subject of the latter end. It is now known not only how the Lord upholds and increases it, but that he has himself created it. On the other hand, the wise Lord, who is named by the two halves of his name, at the beginning and at the end of the stanza, is recognized as the Alpha and Omega, and as the Lord of this life. The following stanzas develop in this idea: the Lord presides over the life of the world. First of all, he directs the life of the ox, for it is he who has created the maker of the ox. He has created devotion, that is to say, conditions for raising the cattle, maintenance of the grassland, and the care of the livestock. Stanza 10 tells of the choice of the ox. The ox has been chosen well between the herdsman and the non-herdsman, bringing to the former the good mind. Note now, the doctrine of man's free choice is here curiously transposed, inverting the real relations of man and beast. At any rate, this is only a prelude, perhaps a symbolical prefiguration, the direct account of a man's choice, or rather of human freedom, which takes up the following two stanzas. Man has had freedom of choice since the Lord, through the mind, created body and soul, 11, and since then he has made use of the freedom for error and truth, for the good and evil. The last verse of stanza 12 is not clear to me. It seems to mean that the undecided will be urged to the choice by devotion. Man is free, but in none of his acts, even if hidden, does he escape the eye of righteousness through which the wise one observes him. 10. Then of the two did it choose for itself the cattle-tending herdsman, as just a master and as an advancer of the good mind. He who is no herdsman despite his striving, O wise one, who shall have no share in the good message. 11. Since thou, O wise one, at the first didst create us by thy beings and consciences and wills, mind, since thou didst give a body to the soul of life, since thou didst create the deeds and the words that man may decide freely. 12. Since then does the man of false words lift up his voice, as well as the man of true words, the initiate as well as the non-initiate, each according to his heart and his mind, may devotion put the proof of one after the other, the spirits where there is bewilderment. 13. The deeds, open or stealthy, into which search is made, O wise one, or if for the trifling wrong, and should exact the greatest atonement. Perceiving all this with thine eye, thou seest it through shining righteousness. From stanza 14 to the end, the attention of the prophet is directed to the future and the development which balances stanza 7 to 13. Zoroaster again asked the Lord for enlightenment. How shall the account of the past actions be kept at the formal reckoning? 14. What punishment is in store for him who helps the wicked or who harms the righteous herdsman? 15. When will the good leader come who shall extend the dominion of the Lord? 16. At this event it is slow in coming. Zoroaster has a doubt which he confides to the wise one, which will finally win, the righteous one or the wicked one. 17. But he recovers himself, the wicked one brings nothing but ruin. Wherever his rule spreads, he must be fought with weapons. 18. 14. These things I ask, O Lord, how shall they happen and come to pass? The pledge which are accounted to the righteous, and those accounted to the wicked man, how shall they be, O wise one, at the final reckoning? 15. I ask thee, O Lord, what punishment is in store for him who obtains dominion for the wicked evildoer? What punishment for him who finds not his livelihood without outrage to the herdsman, that does no harm to the beast or man? 16. I ask thee when the man of insight shall come, and what deeds he shall do, who, as belonging to thee, shall strive to further through righteousness thy dominion over the house and district and country, O wise Lord. 17. It is the righteousness or it is the wicked one who takes to himself the greater part? Let him know, speak knowledge, let the unlearned cease to deceive. O wise Lord, be thou our teacher and good mind. 18. Let none of you heed the words or the precepts of the wicked one. Right is on the side of Zarathustra, who is the master of his tongue, and he speaks the truth. He hopes that the Lord will ratify his judgment at the ordeal by fire. Mankind can therefore rely on him. The followers shall be rewarded. 19. The following stanza describes the reward, possession of glory, and the contrast of this describes the dark fate to which the wicked are doomed through their own acts and by their own choice. The punishment is described in verse 2, long-lasting darkness, ill food, and wailing. By the contrast, again, stanzas 21 and 22 return to the reward of the righteous. The Lord, rich in his union with his entities, will give good mind to those who are faithful to him. The following is a little less clearly seen by us than by the seer. Perhaps it means that man, having understood through the good mind and the divine order and the human action, must be in accord, will put his power at the service of righteousness. Thus he will be the guest of the Lord. The good mind will lead him to bliss. For he brings house and clan and district and country to misery and downfall. Ward him off, therefore, with weapons. 19. Hear, O Lord, him who watches over righteousness and initiate a healer of existence, who rules his tongue at will, speak to true words, when by thy glowing fire the two parties are about to receive their due. 20. Whoever stands by the righteous man, to him shall future glory appear, long-lasting darkness, ill food, and wailing. To such an existence shall your conscience lead by your own deeds, O wicked ones. 21. Out of the fullness of his own union with integrity and immortality, with righteousness and dominion, shall the wise Lord make him master of the good mind, who is sworn friend in spirit and in deeds. 22. These are the things are clear to man of insight, he who through the good mind knows righteousness as the dominion. He helps him in the word and deed. He shall be, O wise Lord, thy most devoted guest. THE